Well, we are celebrating National Organic Month, and with us we have Monte Burrow of Blackleaf Organic Vodka. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you so much. And you are a co-founder of the brand. Tell me a little bit about why organic.
Yeah, so I guess the easiest way to answer that is why not? The reality is when you think about organic and you think about organic products, those are the best ingredients that you could ever have in anything you make. No herbicides, no chemicals, no pesticides in the production. And in our case, it's wheat that goes into our product. So if you had a choice and somebody asked you, hey, would you like to have a product that went through a ton of chemicals, or would you like to have something clean? What would you pick? Naturally, people will pick something clean, but they don't realize a lot of times that those options are available, especially in the spirit space. So we wanted to create something that gave them that option.
Now, I know for most people, you go to the grocery store and you see the organic section and then you see the regular section. Now, usually the organic section is a little bit more expensive than your other banana or apple. Probably not too much of a difference, but most of the time, you know, times are hard right now.
Yeah.
We're going over to whatever the cheapest thing is.
Yeah.
Why should people start maybe paying attention more to that organic section?
So I'll put it like this. My wife, the chief operating officer in my life, she always tells me every time I go to the grocery store, hey, look, I want organic, when she talks about fruit most of the time, I want organic fruit and vegetables for the kids, because she wants them to be a little bit more healthy what they consume in their body. In the alcohol space, it's the same thing. So you're right, it costs a little bit more. It's a little bit more work that goes into creating something organic, but we don't necessarily pass that price on to our consumers.
Okay.
So we are a premium product that basically you're getting luxury, but in a premium package. And we think it's very important because it's a compelling story. It's an opportunity to have something, again, that's better for you in the sense of what goes into the actual product. But why would we want to make it something that's not approachable? So we try to give you something that's still very reasonable and very accessible.
So you mentioned the word that I love to hear, story.
Yeah.
Tell me the story behind it.
Oh my goodness, I can go on and on about that. I will give you the Cliff Note version,
Okay.
right? So the reality is Blackleaf was started by my business partner, Kevin Lacaille. He was on this sexy vacation in France. And the short version is he met a gentleman who knew a master distiller who ended up connecting with Kevin. They went tasted 30-year-old cognacs and some things of that nature. And he just had this idea of, you know what, let's create a vodka. Literally had no industry experience whatsoever, but had this ambition, the seed that was planted. I personally kind of cut my chops in the alcohol space, so I grew up in the alcohol business. I've been doing it for a long time. Kevin and I connected and a spark was ignited, and we said, you know what, let's take this idea, this concept, this product, and create a brand around it, and that's been Blackleaf.
And it's very interesting too, because within that space, you see very few Black owners. I think of Fawn Weaver,
Yeah.
I think of Jay-Z, I think of some other celebrities that are in that space. But when it comes to somebody who doesn't have that celebrity status, how is it navigating that space as an owner?
Yeah, it's a gift and a curse, right? So we tend to, and I say we, consumers in general, we tend to go with what we hear, what's loudest. And a lot of times those celebrities give things a quick lift, right? So you'll see those products and you see that call me, let me have this, let me try that. But there's a lot of brands out there that are spectacular, that aren't necessarily celebrity backed. When you get a chance to try them, you realize, wow, these are amazing brands. And a lot of the celebrity brands, no knock against celebrity brands whatsoever, but when they're done authentically, it's right. A lot of times, unfortunately, it's not done authentically. So we kind of stay in our lane. We look at a product and creating something that's super special, right? When you taste our product, I don't want you to think about anything else other than what you have in your glass. When you see our packaging, I want you to say, wow, this can compete with the big boys. There's nothing bigger or better than what you have in your hands at the moment. And that's been our approach, is being authentically true to ourselves, true to our call, true to our nature. And I think in doing that, we've been winning over quite a few people.
And speaking of winning, you guys have also won a couple of awards too for your product.
Yes. So we're about quality over volume. So again, you hear a lot of brands saying, hey, I won 100 awards, or I'm the top winning this and that. We focus on not just being an approachable brand, but being a brand that's awarded from the standpoint of we're getting the highest level within those competitions. So there's scales. Sometimes you get your bronzes, your silvers, your golds, your double golds, your platinums. Yeah. We've won 9 double golds, I think, to date. And this is the New York Wine and Spirits competition, San Francisco, Singapore. We won 3 platinum awards. So we're not just winning awards, but the industry is telling us that we have something special, and it's not just us drinking our own Kool-Aid.
Yeah, and you know, and those awards within the industry, is that helping to make other industry leaders take your brand seriously?
Credibility.
Yeah,
it's
that
credibility. It's instant credibility. Because I can sit here and tell you right now, why
It's
drink
the best
this?
thing, yeah.
This when you have this, but when the people, the experts in that space, are telling you, wow, you know, some of the highest journals in the world have written articles about us winning some of those awards, and it's credibility. So it gives us a voice in rooms when we're not in those rooms.
Which is incredible, because like I said, just being in that space as a team, 2 Black men within the vodka space.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to organic versus not organic,
Yeah.
is that rare in the alcohol distillery industry?
It's rare, so I'll put it like this. We were the first French organic vodka on the US market.
Okay.
And again, I'm not going to name other brands, but there's some major brands that are now starting to follow suit.
Okay.
So it's not so
trendsetter.
It's trendsetter, legacy builder, forward thinking, however you want to put it.
On and on and
you know,
on.
it's very important. But I think I'll go back to something you said earlier. It's easier to go the cheaper route. So it's not, you know, we're not going the cheapest route, but we're also not passing that price on. So when you say, is it
How
easy?
are you not passing? Let's get back to that. You finish your thought, and then I'll get back to mine.
No, it's because we think it's important. So organic is a subset to me of sustainability. It's about how do you create an environment and leave that environment better than the way you found it, right? So not only is the liquid organic, but the ink on the bottle is organic ink. We use a little bit less glass in the manufacturing of the glass that actually holds the liquid. We have sustainable top, because again, it's important to us. You don't see that on the shelf. You don't see that when you're at your favorite bar or lounge and you order a glass, but it's important to us. You know, it's important for the other generations. So we're consuming or absorbing that cost, but we also know it'll come back to us.
And that was going to be my question. And I think that not every business is going to do that, right? Because it's bottom line. But I mean, when you do absorb those costs, isn't that going to affect your profit margin?
It will absolutely affect the profit margin, but what you can make up, I think there's social good that has a value that, again, it comes back to you. So it's afforded us an opportunity to be showcased in places and spaces where other brands can't. And that in itself helps generate more volume, which again helps to make up for some of those potential losses that you might not get when you actually price a product out. So, you know, we're able to really do something that's very important. And the reality is, if we have a great product, people will come to that product, you know, and again, that's what's the most important, creating something that's big and better. And, you know, I'm very confident that we'll get back what we need.
And you guys, I mean, the part of the benefit, even if it's impacting the bottom line initially, is that you are helping to extend longevity, healthiness, the earth, sustainability, all that. Let me ask you this too. As a business owner, some people have been impacted by tariffs. Some people have been impacted by things that are going in, right, in Washington. How has that impacted you all?
Yeah, so I'd be a fool to say that it doesn't have an impact, but it has not hurt us to the point where it's shot us out of anything, right?
Okay.
So here's the reality. We live in a world where those tariffs and things of that nature impact everything, right? So even though someone's product specifically might not be impacted by a tariff, when you think about it, this is the conversation I had with someone the other day. Okay, you have a product, your product isn't impacted by tariffs, but because tariffs are globally impacting a lot of people, it may shut down truck transportation over here or shipping transportation over here. So your costs still may go up because of the impact systemically, right? Initially, at one point, they were talking about, because our product is distilled in France, they were at one point talking about doing a 200% tariff. Now, something like that would have put a lot of people out of business, right? Now, fortunately, cooler heads prevailed, and it was nothing even to that magnitude, right? I think we're living in a system right now where that is just par for the course. It's something you got to plan for. So what we've done is we just looked at our supply chain and figure out how can we shore up different things to potentially ease the potential impact of those tariffs, right? So our goal is not to pass that on to the consumer, and we've been successful right now not being able to have to do that.
And I know we don't have that much time, but I do want to ask just a follow-up on that. Would you consider moving the operation from France to the U.S., or does what you all make, that could only be done in France?
Yeah, so it's something special about having a French, like our distillery has been around since 1889. So these are stewards of craftsmanship, right? I think there's always ways that we can optimize, again, that supply chain, potentially doing some things stateside, keeping pieces of it in France so that we can still have that claim and that significance and have that liquid. So there's options there, and we'll look at those and figure out what's best. But whatever decision we ever make with the product or the brand is always going to be about how do we stay true and authentic to our values.
All right, and those values are important. People know that. Thank you so much for coming in and talking to us a little bit about it. Anything new for you all before we wrap up?
You know, the one thing I would say is we're always looking to recruit and bring in new people.
Okay.
So if you are a drinker or you have friends that imbibe, feel free to give us a try. Check us out. Check out our website. You can find us in various stores and restaurants around the way. So give us a shout, give us a look, give us a try, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
And that is if you are 21 and above.
Always.
Well, thank you so much for coming in. We look forward to hearing more about this. And National Organic Month, we'll put more information about this on 11tolive.com. Thank you so much.